The ancient times in Legnosia weren't easy. Legnosia wasn't always filled with the people it now is. A while ago, Legnosia was just a small island, isolated from the others. It sat there, unnoticed for a long time period of 3,000 years. When the island was discovered, no one really knew much about it. One brave explorer, the very first LL, decided to take the chance of death and stay on the island. If there was a food shortage, it would take her at least 260 days to return to their home island. All she could do was hope that there wasn't any foreigners on that island with her and her crew members. While nothing happened that night or on the following nights, they still faced many challenges: sickness, lack of food, and some were even going insane from being on the island for so long and not being able.
The Legnosian people began practicing rituals every day and night, summoning the Legnosian spirits for help. After this continued, however, many people on the island began disappearing. We know very little about what happened after that. We assume that more people became aware of what was happening on the island and went over there to help. When the people got to the island, they were able to save some of the people on the island who were ill, and brought a plentiful amount of food and seeds to grow crops to survive. From then forward, Legnosia was a stable civilization. Eventually, the Legnosians developed a way of writing that was different than their old way. That's when Legnosian language became their primary language. It was not spoken, but written. This was just the beginning of Legnosian language. Legnosians also had a very interesting way of cooking. Since Legnosia was filled with many trees and animals, these things were a part of the everyday Legnosian cooking method. They would most often take a stick from a tree, cook the meat they previously got, and put little pieces of it on the stick. Then they'd wrap it up with a large leaf from one of the trees in the forest. That was the normal way of cooking in Legnosia.
The very first Legnosian leader was thought to be a man. Could it be? The second LL of the 4GP, or BC, was a man. Yes, their second leader was a man. Although we don't know much about him, he was said to be one of the best leaders they had. His name was Bob II. He helped people get over sicknesses and gave to the homeless. He died in 319 BC from the LL plague. The Legnosians missed him dearly. Now, there was a big difference back then that Legnosia had over the other islands. The women and men were treated the same way. They were allowed to have the same jobs. They weren't just housewives. This made it so that men and women both had the same opportunities when they wouldn't have had in the other islands back